friends, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, we are discussing the Moon card. You know what's funny? This shirt I've had for probably a decade. I've had it forever. It's like threadbare, but it's my favorite go-to when it's hot. And I realized as I'm sitting here, it says Moonchild, so it's perfectly appropriate for today's topic. What we'll be discussing today is different key meanings that I associate with the Moon card, as well as sharing with you some of my favorite Moon cards out of my tarot collection. And so I would love to hear from you in the comment section on what are some of your favorite Moon card meanings or your favorite Moon card depictions and be sure to specify the deck. And also, if you struggle or have struggled with the Moon card meaning in the past, don't be shy. Let us know in the comment section so we can chit chat. All right, my friends, do me a favor on your way in. Please hit the like button. Please consider subscribing, and let's go ahead and switch camera angles and get into it. Okay, so first Moon card I want to talk to you all about is the Light Seers Tarot. And when I see this card come up in a reading, I instantly know that we're dealing with certain cycles. We're dealing with someone feeling emotionally submerged. You know, when you're underwater, and I would imagine at night and the moon is casting different shadows, can you imagine that feeling and what it feels like to, you know, not everything of what you're looking at is what it seems. When I do client readings and they're asking about their love life, you know, this could conjure up all sorts of things if you're asking about a relationship. And yes, sometimes people do ask about if they, you know, if what they're suspecting is true with their partner. And so depending on the other cards surrounding this Moon card, that can let you know, like, is this much more born out of anxieties and fears and getting caught up in your emotional landscape? Or is there something else? Is the shadows being casted outside of the person? And so I really love this Moon depiction because it's, you know, certainly we have the watery elements here. We have this woman who is submerged. We have the traditional with the dogs, the dark colored dog and the white, right? The light colored dog. So I do appreciate the Light Seers Moon card, and I'm curious to hear what you all think about the Light Seers Moon card. And for really any of the cards that I discussed today, let me know what you think in the comment section and what are your favorite Moon card depictions. Okay. So next up we have the Luna Sol Tarot. And this one is pretty much following the traditional here. Okay. We've got the two towers here acting as pillars. We've got the two dogs. What I like about this is the color palette, this watery element, because the moon is associated with water. And for me, it represents the time period of Pisces when I'm looking at timing of the major arcana. So the moon represents Pisces time. So that's like, you know, February to March. And we see this little door. Let me see if I can. It's an invitation to go to a place where you can get your answers. And where is that place? It's deep inside of your intuition against this purple mountainscape here, right? I've got the moon phases. This is speaking of the cycles. The moon is associated with a woman's menses. For example, cycles, moon cycles. So, yeah, that's the Luna Sol Tarot's depiction. Next up, we have the moon from This Might Hurt Tarot. This is the first edition. And we have the two women, right? There is some nudity here. If you look carefully, there's hair on these women's legs. This feels very primal instincts, intuition. And it's so interesting to me that the creator chose to have these women be the embodiment of the dogs. They almost look like wolves. And we have the trees in place of the towers. Pretty traditional when you take a look at these two, right? So you have the lobster coming, emerging. I guess it's a crab. Looks like a lobster to me. So yeah, it looks pretty traditional, but I do enjoy this depiction because it is just another reminder of, you know, this shadow being casted upon things and having to go into the shadow, what lies in the subconscious. Oftentimes this might be a call for me to mention to a client that, you know, they may have been having dreams as of late that has been trying to pass forth information, and the client will have an aha moment and say, oh my goodness, I don't ever remember my dreams, but I just had a dream the other night and it can't shake it. And so then we can then go into more of a dreamscape type of reading, exploring what those themes are for the client, and even having the client take a look at the card and picking up what they feel when they see it. So yeah, I really enjoy this moon card. Next up is the Dreamkeeper's Tarot, first edition. So there you have it. This is a glorious depiction. So behind her, this is, you know, the light, and before her is the shadow, the darkness. She's facing it. She's also, you know, almost embracing or caressing the moon if you look very carefully. And I love it. She's turning within. She's making a choice to face the darkness. This also represents the light and shadow. The light and shadow. It's like hearkening to the High Priestess, where we have the black and the white pillars that stand beside, you know, that are standing beside her. And this woman is choosing to listen, to take the dark path, to listen to her intuition as she takes each step forward. She doesn't know, but she's engaging in the darkness, the mystery. She's embracing it by turning to it and caressing the moon. Wow. And you can even see, if you look carefully here, it looks like this is her spinal column here, and there's the ribs. So there's a part of her that, from the moment of the tower, where maybe she was scorched and broken down, and she can rebuild herself by moving through the star to the moon, to the sun. But first she's got to go through this moment of shadow and emerging, if you will. So I appreciate this moon card, because if you understand tarot, you'll understand that it's not just the story of the card right before you. It is the person's journey through the cards, through the sequence of them, through the tower, through the star, through the moon, and what's next is the sun. So you can, you know, read tarot in that way, understanding that. So yeah, I find this to be a badass moon card. What do you think? All right, and we've got next the moon card from the new Era Elements Tarot. And wow, I really enjoy this depiction as well. And let me tell you why. This card in the guidebook, it mentions, just like my association, is Pisces. So the moon correspondences is Pisces. And some of the keywords from the guidebook is that this card, the moon, represents the night, dreams, nightmares, descent into the subconscious, intuitive understanding, and exploring one's dark side. And I love that with the dark side of the moon. This is a waning moon, so that's interesting to me. And if you're looking at more of the shadow aspects of this card, it indicates here reality compromised by illusions, deep denial, paranoia, mental illness, fear of following one's dreams. Wow. I really appreciate that as well. And the flowers here, I had to look at, that's why I picked up the guidebook. I was like, I wonder what these flowers are. And so what I do enjoy about the new Era Elements is that it gives a little description about the card, you know, the card's image. So it says, exploring the card. The card shows a cluster of moonflowers underneath the waning moon. Moonflowers are beautiful, white, elegant, and with a subtle scent. However, they are also poisonous. Native Americans use the moonflower as an initiation plant, so there is an aspect to the card about the descent into your subconscious, which can yield truths that allow you to grow. And we talked about that when I was mentioning in the Dreamkeeper Tarot. How are you going to grow if you're not ready to embrace going through, in Christian terms, the shadow of the valley or valley of shadow of death or what have you? I'm all messing it up, but you know what I mean. How are you going to make it to the other side if you're not willing to tap into that aspect of yourself? So yeah, I like that. Let me see if there's anything else to share. Yeah, so that is the new Era Elements Tarot. Here's the moon from the Tarot of Oneness, and I just really like it. It's just one that I appreciate. If you look carefully here, there's a little spider. There's a little spider there, and it's showing the illumination. It's got a wise owl sitting here on this little branch, representing that intuitive wisdom. And I just really appreciate the color palette against the beautiful, yummy colors on the back. But yeah, you can see even the light hitting the various spots of the tree, but there's still the shadow side that we, as we are coming closer through these trees, almost acting also as some form of pillars here, we are getting closer to wisdom, intuitive wisdom about a situation. So yeah. And if it came up in one of my mystery mystic readings, it'd be like, not everything is what it seems. There could be some dark forces at play, you know, so it just depending on the context of the reading itself, and then also looking at the other cards that you have on the table, it can really direct you on where to go with this moon card energy or moon card meanings. That's the Tarot of Oneness. Here's the Ferenc Pinter Tarot. It's a Los Scarabeo deck, and I just really find it cheeky, no pun intended. But again, we've got a moon, you know, depiction here. It's very surrealistic to me, in that in terms of the art style. We've got the watery element. We have the person facing the dark sky, and yeah, that to me is a successful depiction of the moon. All right, so we have the moon card from the Sol Tarot. And what I loved about this particular depiction is the dark night sky, and that it is, you know, we've got these two doors here in the little, it's not a mountain, you call it like a cliffside. And you've got the dogs here, and you've got your moonflowers, and you've got your moon, your crescent moon. And I love what the creator said in the guidebook. It says, in comparison to the sun, the moon is fickle. Its light seems to hide more than it reveals, and its brightness causing madness. Since the moon's light isn't as harsh as its daytime counterpart, we are forced to be more careful when walking by its glow. Be attentive of the shadows and the sounds that follow you in the night, but know that most of your fears are only in your head. And we talked about that earlier, right? The moon represents all things the seeker is unaware of and keeps hidden. It is the power of secrets and unspoken truth. Whoa. And if you think about it in that way, with the sun, you're going to have now more clarity. What was in the dark is now coming to light, right? And so the upright meanings for this depiction is double speak. Got the double speak I'm sensing happening between the two dogs. Illusions, knowledge of hidden enemies, darkness, subtlety. Reversed is instability, gaslighting, silence, deception, and madness. That is the slow tarot. We have the moon from the Afro Tarot, and it's just a glorious card to me. We've got the big full moon here, and it seems to be casting a light on this pharaoh, in the pyramids in the background, the mysteries, right? You've got the two columns here. It, to me, is a successful moon card because this depiction is more leaning into, the great mysteries of our, of humanity, really, right? And the shadow and the light, and what is the light casted on? It's just, to me, a powerful depiction of the moon. Next up, we have the Superlunaris Tarot, the moon. Ah, my goodness. I have been using this deck for the greater part of 2023 so far. I'm going to have to compel myself to use another deck and give the Superlunaris a break. But this beautiful moon card, it just takes me every time. And I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's keywords in its little keyword booklet. It says intuition, dreams, the subconscious, mystery, a period of confusion or distortion. I appreciate that too. A season, a cycle of confusion or distortion. And I appreciate also that the Superlunaris Tarot creator pointed out that this is a time of enhanced creativity or a descent into the underworld, an intuitive awakening via a time of introspective withdrawal. Interesting, right? And look, a lobster, for sure this is a lobster. I've seen in other tarot decks, and I even have some where I'll be showing you in a moment, where it's a crab. It's a clear crab. Yes. But yeah, look at that beautiful shade of blue. We've got some traditional elements here with the towers and the light and dark, and this big, robust, full moon. That's the Superlunaris Tarot. Okay. So we have the Uncommon Tarot. And I love a collage style type deck. I love this aesthetic. So it's doing all the things of a traditional moon card here, but just the coloration, the dark sky, this orangey moon or blood moon, it's giving to me. Here is a crab depiction right there. Crab versus lobster. And instead of, are these little leopards or cheetahs? I don't know. Instead of dogs, we have these cats, these big cats. We do have columns here. We've got the watery element, the crab emerging from the water, something emerging, something climbing out of. Yeah, the answers that you seek are about to be illuminated. Wow. And I'm saying these meanings so that if you are new to tarot, you can start to get them into your subconscious. You can start ruminating over the keywords of the moon card that really resonate with you and getting comfortable with, okay, when it comes up, what could it mean in this situation? How does the moon influence the reading? And if you're a seasoned reader, you know, you may be like, I remember that keyword. I need to hone in on that one next time. I just feel like that I needed to hear this keyword about the moon card. So I'm hoping that you all are enjoying this. If you are, please do me a favor and hit the like button to let me know in the easiest way possible. But you know, I really, really want to hear from you in the comment section about my chosen moon cards. Now, I have quite a collection, so it was challenging for me to nail it down to 20 moon cards. So let me know what your favorites are. That's the uncommon tarot. So a moon tarot card has to include the Moonchild Tarot depiction of this beautiful major arcana, right? Take her in. Isn't she glorious? My God. Gorgeous water. I love the color palette, I mean. And did you all know that there's a black edition of this one? I had to really try to resist getting it and just say, you know what, you've got enough decks, Kim. Just calm the hell down. So yeah. But anyways, I enjoy the guidebook for this deck immensely. I have that here. Look how chunky it is. Look at that. So some keywords is mystery, intuition, imagination, shadow, and dreams. And some gemstones. Now I thought this was an interesting addition for the guidebook. Kyanite, labradorite, and moonstone. And I would agree. I have those stones all around. What else? I think I wanted to share with you all from the guidebook what it says in terms of this card's artwork. The cyclical magic of the moon glows and transmutes into the hands of the goddess. Here, she works with its light, being deeply in tune with its secrets, mysteries, and perpetual rhythm. Its powerful push and pull, which harmonizes with her resonant waters. The spirit familiars of the shifting ages rest at her side, connecting to the intuitive, mysterious, subconscious realms. Wow. That is the Moonchild Tarot. This one is from the Tarot of Haunted House, I believe. The Haunted House. Anyways, here's the card backs. Got the moon even in the card back. Sorry for the glare. And then we have this beautiful moon depiction. And I'm in love with this deck. I don't use it as often as I'd like to, but when I do use it, I enjoy it. It's one of those things, you know? It's like when you have a favorite pair of shoes that used to be a good favorite pair, and then you got other new pairs, you start wearing those other pairs all the time, and then you come back to a deck and you're like, oh, I did enjoy you. Something like that. Anyways, I digress. The moon card. So this deck is a part of a story, a journey, if you will. So, and the person that we're talking about is Raven. And Raven's Journey Home is the title for this card in the guidebook. And I love what the guidebook says about the moon cards. Our final destination is never exactly as we imagine. Life is mystery. Mystery is life. Play with the mystery. It waits for you with open arms. Embrace the unknown. Dreams, subconscious, mystery, cycles, fantasy, illusion, occult, psychic. And we've got the two dogs here. We've got these two columns here. The gate. She's walking towards, she's returning home. Okay. And it's almost like she's embracing going home to self, going home to the subconscious, walking readily into the mystery. Wow. Talk about Tarot of Mystical Moments. Oh my goodness. This moon card is gorgeous. Gorgeous. And there's only one dog here, and it's her, you know. and she's facing the moon. She's facing it. It's so interesting when you start to look at the moon cards across several of them, right? You can start to pick up on some common themes in how the artist depicts it, and even gaining and gleaning some insights about that as you look card by card by card. And some of the keywords associated with this moon card is shadow side, depths, illusions, unconscious, visions, deception, and mystery. And the reverse meaning for this card, according to the guidebook, is illumination, reassurances, repression, denial, familiarity. So depending on the other cards would dictate to you which are you going to share. You're going to share the light facing energy meanings or the shadow facing energy meanings. Okay. And I love that she has these tentacles here, that watery element. She's still partially submerged, but she's emerging. Wow. Powerful depiction. Here's the Good Karma Tarot, and I really enjoy this one as well. She's got this, we've got the water. She's emerged, or she's actually partially submerged in the water. And what I really appreciate about this is that her eyes are closed. She's got the crescent moon above her. She's, saying shush. I think her earrings here are the little dogs, but she's saying shush. And it's like, quiet, let me go within. Let me dream. Let me be receptive. This card feels like, what I sense and think of with the moon card energy. Whereas the sun is about that yang and action and movement. This is about receptivity, okay? And in the guidebook, they even use one of the keywords as being passive, to wait and see what happens, okay? So that is the Good Karma Tarot. Right, next, we're gonna talk about the True Heart Intuitive Tarot moon depiction. Quite similar, except with a modern feel. We've got the pyramid with the little all-seeing eye there. It harkens to the traditional, but it is quite modern and contemporary in its look. The guidebook. So I did intentionally try to find decks that had a good reference point or reference guide to the card meanings. So in case you are in the market for decks or looking for a special deck, you can see what you're getting. So from time to time, I'll share with you what the guidebooks are saying. But let's see. It says high vibe, intuition, psychic ability, dream states. It's here with this sacred geometry here. Creativity, secrets, psyche, and lucidity. Low vibe, depression, delusion, lunacy, fear, isolation, addiction, anxiety, and deception. Okay. And this guidebook really gets into it. Look at this. The moon represents a fertile time to journey into the liminal space that exists in between conscious and unconscious awareness. And then the reverse section, if pulled in low vibe. Okay, so the card is pulled in low vibe. And so she just gives you so much. Rachel True. Okay, traditional towers and whatnot. And the dogs, light colored, darker colored. The water element here. Yeah, that is the True Heart Intuitive Tarot. Let's talk about Dust to Onyx, a melanated tarot deck. Oh my goodness. Isn't that glorious and gorgeous and all of the things, right? Decadent even. I love this moon depiction so much. So much. All right, I'm gonna stick her there for a moment. And look at this glorious guidebook. I mean, this is luxurious here. Hard bound. Oh, anyways. Mirror in the Dark. That is the name of this art piece. Awakened, inner truth, realization, fantasy, intuition. Dormant, fear, confusion, turmoil, and deception. So you can see throughout the moon cards that I've shared with you, their key meanings have been very similar, just sometimes with a little bit of a nuanced change in terms of the verbiage, but similar energies, right? I love that one so much. I really want to connect. This is another deck I would love to do a deep dive into, and hopefully that can happen sometime in the future. But that is Dust to Onyx. And now look at the roses here. And I see little pockets of blue representing that water element here. We've got a full moon behind this beautiful person. The jewels, where do the jewels lie? On you, inside of you. More light facing and then shadow facing here. All right, that's the Dust to Onyx. So now we end with the Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Poppy Palin. I really appreciate her depiction of the moon card. Yes, we have the full moon in the background, but we have a modern setting here. We do have the dog with the black and white fur, but we have this older woman, this elderly woman who may even be homeless, or at least she's carrying around like a lot of her worldly possessions with her. And that could denote some level of lunacy or delusion, or, you know, just even taking steps. You don't even know what your next step should be. You have to really listen to your intuition and instincts. What's also interesting about this whole depiction is the teens in the background. They look kind of mischievous. Or could it be that she's taunting them? Maybe they are taunting her. The moon can play with our perceptions, and they can play tricks on our sight, right? So you really have to pause for a moment and take in what you are seeing, because everything might be a little skewed. So there you have it, folks. Those are my I can't say all, some of my favorite moon card depictions. And I want to hear from you in the comments section on what are your favorites that you have. Maybe not even the ones I discussed today. Add something new to the comment section if you like. And do me a favor on your way out. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. All right, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Take very good care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.